This message is from Mr. Kilde, and the questions read, I want to use Peugeot 307 for Uber. What is the advantages and the disadvantages of automatic to manual transmissions? Um, what do I need to look out for when using it? What do I need to do to have best fuel economy? Okay, you want to use Peugeot 307 for Uber. Okay, yeah, Peugeot 307 serves very well for that purpose. I don't know if they allow station wagon. If they do, it will also serve, irrespective of the type, whether it's hatchback or station wagon. Yes, they will serve you very well in terms of durability, dependability, low maintenance costs. So they will serve you well. I know a lot of people who are using it, and I mean, it is a very good vehicle for that kind of people. So I will encourage you to use it. Okay, so the second question: what is the advantages and disadvantages of automatic to manual? I believe specifically in Peugeot 307, that's what you want to know. Okay, advantages. Now, advantages is subjective. For some people that don't like driving manual in traffic, shifting all the time, because you are doing this kind of business, commercial uh, driving purposes, so you are going to be staying in traffic more often. So most people don't like driving manual in that case. So in that situation, the automatic will be an advantage over manual, right? So um, which, like I said, is subjective because some people, to them, it means nothing. Driving manual, no matter how heavy the traffic is. So it all depends. So it can be an advantage. What else? I don't know. I mean, the automatic is not like they have more power, or they are less fuel efficient. So I don't know where I will go from here. So that's the only advantage I can think of. In that case, you could add maybe some people call it convenience, is it comfort? It's something like you don't want to be shifting all the time, especially when you're in traffic. Yeah, something like that. So that's the only advantage I could think of. You know. Then disadvantage. Now remember, we are talking. Your question is auto to manual. The advantage and disadvantage is automatic house over manual. Okay, now in terms of disadvantage, the only the first one I could think of is high maintenance cost. The maintenance cost of uh, automatic transmission in Peugeot 307 is much higher than the manual in that same Peugeot 307. Um, so, like the ATF, recommended ATF uh, cost the cheapest I know for now is about 6,000 naira a liter. And if you really want to do a thorough service, to get at least 90% of ATF in the gearbox out with you fill with a fresh one, then you are likely going to use about 12 liters. You do the change 3 times, before you can. Some even do up to 20 liters. In fact, that's even the ideal thing. But so 3 might be okay. So by the time you calculate 6,000 times 12, you know what you mean. And you have to be doing it every 30,000 kilometers. don't even exceed it, 30,000 kilometers. So in a business like Uber, Bolt, and stuff like that, commercial people's, you eat up. You see, you even know it before you hit that mileage. You can hit that mileage within a month, less or a little bit more. So that's what I'm saying. So that 30,000 kilometers, before you know it, you hit it, and then you have to cover out how much? More than 50,000 naira just on only one part, just to service one part of the vehicle. Irrespective, remember they say have engine and other stuff to deal with. So that's what I mean by high cost of maintenance. So that it doesn't fail. It will nothing. It's not like if you don't change it, the gearbox will not keep moving. Yeah, you keep moving, but if you don't want it to fail, you have to keep doing it periodically. Every 30,000 kilometers, immediately you change it. Consider, I know this particular gearbox, AM4, so you have to be doing that. Some people use cheaper ones, but most times they end up killing the gearbox. So in that case, I don't know if that will help at all. Uh, is there any other disadvantage? The disadvantage, because it's a commercial purpose, you are not going basically to go and have fun. So it can be dull. That's the disadvantage I could call it. In terms of someone that likes to enjoy driving, it can be dull. Unless you don't really care about that. Like I said, you're after money. So in terms of driving experience, enjoying the drive, it's an advantage. No, it's a disadvantage over manual. Manual has advantage over that, right? So, um, is there another disadvantage? These are basically the two I can remember. There's one advantage, automatic transmission in 207 has over manual that I forgot to mention, and that is the clutch kit. If you are not good with manual transmission, it may be frustrating in terms of replacing your clutch kit every now and then. So in other words, you may even start thinking or see it like that the cost of maintenance of the manual may even be higher for you based on all the time you are replacing your clutch. However, it's also an advantage that manual has over automatic, because the clutch kit, if you are very good with clutch application or use, it's supposed to last you up to 300,000 kilometers or years before I even think about replacing them, or before they fail or become weak. So that's what I'm saying. It can be an advantage or disadvantage. It's up to you. I don't know how you drive. Maybe you don't know how to drive manual, or you know how to drive manual, but you still don't know how to use the clutch very well. So if you are the type that all the time you are replacing your clutch, maybe it will serve you better to use automatic, to get the automatic, or you actually go and learn how to drive manual properly. I know some people say I've been driving manual for 20 years, so you can't tell me I don't know how to drive manual. Trust me. I know people who will say that, but then give them your car. Within 1 week, they will kill the clutch. But you who have been using your own for the same car, you've been driving it for years, thousands, hundreds, thousands of kilometers, the clutch will be intact. But immediately you give it to the same person that claims you have been driving manual for before they gave birth to your father, that week it will kill you. The person will kill your clutch. So it doesn't matter how long you've been driving a vehicle. It's about how well you've been doing that driving. So that's the thing. So you have to ask yourself, only you know you. Do you really know how to drive manual? Or you believe you can improve, even if you know how to do that, or you can learn? In that case, it will be an advantage. If you don't really know how to do it, or you believe you don't have the time, or you are not interested in learning how to properly engage your clutches while the car is in motion, then automatic will be an advantage. So it's neither here nor there. So it all depends. But irrespective of which one has over advantage of this, the disadvantage, which is very certain, of automatic over manual is high cost. The ATF, the original or the recommended ones are expensive. So, and it's not something manual, you can drive it forever without even bothering touching the gear oil. Or at least, I usually recommend maybe 100,000 kilometers, you change the manual oil. 50,000, manual gearbox can be forgiven. You can keep driving it even when the oil has worn out. Keep running. The only thing, your gearbox may become noisy, or some parts over time, the bearings will start failing. But then, notwithstanding, it will take you a long mileage before you start packing up. So automatic won't give you that chance to abuse it, like manual users abuse their manual gearboxes and get away with it. Automatic immediately to deal with you. And the cost of replacing the gearbox as at the moment today is about 150,000 naira or thereabouts. So you could understand it's not a cheap item. And even I'm talking about a second hand, not even a brand new gearbox. So if you want to do repair, maybe they may end up spending about 50,000. But understand that the repair means replacing some parts inside the gearbox, and it's still going to be a used part, a second-hand part that they will get and put inside. It's not like they are buying a brand new part to do the repair. So it may not serve you as long as you expect after doing that repair and spending 50,000. And remember, you still have to buy oil. However, there's a way you can reduce the cost of maintenance when it comes to servicing automatic gearbox in Peugeot 307. That's the AR4. By buying only 7 liters every time you want to change the oil. You buy at least maximum of 7. I don't think you need more than that. You can throw in additional one, making it 8 liters, but I don't think the gearbox takes up to that. I know it's within 6 to 7 liters, something like that, mass. But you have to pay more for labor to do that. In other words, it means you have to bring out the engine and the gearbox from the vehicle and drop them on the ground. So whoever that will do that, you understand that it's not going to charge you the same amount of just draining the oil from the gearbox while the gearbox is sitting inside the vehicle, still attached on the engine. So, but in this case, you have to bring it out of the vehicle with the engine, drop them on the ground, separate the gearbox separate the gearbox from the engine. Now drain the oil from the gearbox off the vehicle and also the torque converter. So in that case, you now drain everything completely, then couple it back mount. So it's more like a 2 days job. It can be done in a day, but it's not a small work. I mean, if I want to do it for you, I'm going to charge you very high. So that's the thing. So, but it will still be cheaper than buying that 12 liters, the expensive, the ATL recommended one. It still be cheaper somehow, but you still spend. And in that case, you won't need to spend up to 12 liters. But then people like me, I wouldn't want to be bringing my engine. If it was my vehicle, I wouldn't want to be bringing it down. Every now and then I'll be removing and dropping the engine. It's not ideal. So even you at the point, you won't feel comfortable doing that. So you rather want to spend more, buy the ATL. So that is it. So now you understand in terms of advantage. Remember, you're asking me automatic. So I'm focusing on the automatic, not the manual. If you are saying, okay, manual versus automatic, which one, what are the advantages and disadvantages? It's a different thing, but you're asking what are the advantages that automatic has over manual? What are the disadvantages automatic or the disadvantages that manual has? No, disadvantage that automatic have that manual don't have. That's what the way I'll put it. So if you are asking this, then it's going to be a long video because the manual has its own so many advantages, So okay, moving on. I believe I've answered this very well. Okay, what do I need to look out for when using it? Okay, like I already mentioned part of these questions, like you need to be doing changing the ATF periodically. You need to follow manufacturer's instructions. That was recommended services you need to be doing. For example, the engine oil. I'm going to show you the engines or mention the engines that I will recommend. You use the recommended oil like 5W40 or 10W40 or any of these petrol engine I'm going to mention that you can use. You do it every 10,000. You change the oil every 10,000 kilometers or at least maximum of 10 months, minimum of 6 months or maximum of 10 months, as far as Nigeria is concerned. Even in as much as Peugeot say 12 months for an environment like Nigeria, but I always do reduce it, cut out like 2 months, then reduce it. Don't go beyond 10 months. If you can go, you won't have any effect, but just for peace of mind, leave it at 10 months maximum, minimum of 6 months. So you can change between 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th month. Or if you cover 10,000 kilometers even before the 6th month, then you need to change it. That's when you use the recommended 5W40 or 10W40. So that's the point. You have to follow that instruction. The brake fluid, Peugeot said change every 2 years. Drain completely from the entire system, refresh. Same thing with coolant every 2 years. As you are driving, parts will be wearing out. So just you change as they wear the brake pad. The brake disc may fail, depending. If you use the original brake pad, you won't have issue with the brake disc. The brake disc will last you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, before it becomes that bad to use. Or let's just say brake pad can last you up to 100,000 kilometers before you consider even changing them, as long as you are using original brake pad. Or it may not reach 100,000, but one point is it can actually last. But when you start using all these fake brake pads, it kills them very, very quick. So in that case, buy original brake pads. I've forgotten how much they sell the original brake pad for Peugeot 307. So buy, use. What else? Don't abuse the vehicle. The Peugeot 307 has a CAN bus system, both the phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 2 is more multiplex. In other words, it has more complex wiring system, the phase 2, than the phase 1. So, but the advantage it has is the car is so electrical that any small issue, it will tell you electrically, it will warn you. So all you need to do is you plug your scanner to find out what the full details of that one. So you need to get a scan tool. I always recommend Direct Bus or Peugeot PP2000. If you have any other scan tool, you can start with those generic scan tool, then upgrade later to professional scan tool like PP2000. So have it. So I won't go and rely on all these mechanics to be doing trial and error and abuse your vehicle. Just because it has a complex wiring system does not mean it gives complex problems. No, it doesn't. The complex wiring system is just to help protect the vehicle. You enjoy the driving with all the gadgets and so many things. There are so many advantages those complex wiring system people don't consider. They only look at when they abuse the system and the system start disturbing them, then they start complaining. No, they put those systems for a reason, So get a scan tool, using it with from time. If I start telling you everything to look out for when driving and using a car or using it for commercial purposes, then this video will take about 34 hours. So you just learn how to maintain a car. You do the basics with the oil, this and that. Okay, what do I need to do to have best fuel economy? Now, for a start, this number 4 questions, you need to know the engines, petrol engines that can be used, that you find in Peugeot 307 that can serve you for the Uber purposes. Now, the first one is this one. This is 1.6 liter petrol engine. It's more common in Peugeot 307. The most common engine in Peugeot 307, petrol engine, is a naturally aspirated engine. It has about 105 horsepower or thereabout. Okay, now this is a 2.0 liter engine, and it's not that common in Peugeot 307, but it's more common in Peugeot 406, 407, and the rest. So it's also a petrol engine, and 134 horsepower, around that figure. Now this is also a 2.0 liter petrol engine. It's 143 horsepower. Yeah, this is the model name is EW10A for this black one, while this silver one is EW10J4. I think I mentioned this one. This 1.6 is TU5JP4. Okay, moving on. Now this is also a 2.0 liter petrol engine, but I wouldn't advise you buy a 307 with this engine. This is EW10J4S. It's also, like I said, 2.0 liter engine. It has about 180 horsepower, 177 or thereabout. Just one figure, 180 horsepower. So it's for sports. So you're going to burn your fuel. I'm not saying the consumption is that high, that much, but you need something to make profit, so not to have fun. If you are using solely for that Uber, so I would advise you don't go for this one. There's another petrol engine. This is a 1.4 liter engine. It's not that common in Peugeot 307. It's more common in Peugeot 206. This one is about 75. I think 73 horsepower, between 72 to 75 horsepower. That's what it has. It's also a petrol engine and thereabout. So of all these engines I mentioned, the other, I think there's another 1.4 liter engine in 307. That one is it just okay, these are like the most common engine you find in Nigeria, and which you can easily get the pass. So that's why the ones I mentioned. The other ones it's something you can use for private. So all these ones you can use for private. When it comes to this kind of business, you need the one that the pass can easily be accessed and available, and not that expensive. Okay, so this particular one with 1.4 liter engine, the engine model is TU3JP. It comes only in manual. So since you are only from what you're saying, you are more interested in automatic, or you prefer automatic, this it means you can't use this one. So in terms of fuel consumption, this one consumes the less. Understand? Because you mentioned we should have the best fuel economy and blah blah blah. This one consumes the less, or the least. So this one will serve you much better for that purpose. Yeah, the power is not much, but then you are not driving commercial for speed. If you do that, you burn off all your fuel, because the higher the vehicle, the higher you push your car for speed, the more fuel it consumes. So this one will serve you better, but it's only manual. Okay, this one also comes only in manual, because like I said, this one is specifically designed for sports. It's not for fuel economy or stuff like that. And the pass, it share pass with the 2.2 EW12G4 engine and stuff like that. But there are some parts you have to import if they fail. So that's why I would advise don't go for this one. You can use it for private and have fun, but not for commercial. This one is also, it has the option of automatic and manual gearboxes. So most people always complain about this one. So if you are not good with repairs, I wouldn't recommend you use it for commercial. As for a starter, you can. There's nothing, like I said, if you can maintain, if you can follow the instructions, Peugeot instructions on how to service your vehicle, maintain it, yeah, it will serve it the same way every other engine will serve. The fuel economy is as good as that 1.6 liter, which I'll still come to. In fact, it's as if it has the best. No, the 1.4 has the best. But this one is like, it has the power and also the good fuel economy. But like I said, you have to be, I don't know, you have to be extremely careful when it comes to maintenance on this particular one. So it may not be ideal to use for Uber unless you are technically inclined or person that can do your services yourself, do your diagnosis yourself. No, not do your services yourself, do the diagnosis yourself, so you don't let any unskilled or unknowledgeable mechanic to mess up this engine or the system. So this is also a 2.0 liter. It can also be used for Uber. It comes with both automatic and manual. The fuel consumption, not bad, but not that great. Like, wow, that's my point. It's also good. It's not that high compared to, it's not, the margin is not much compared to other engines. But the parts are easily available. This is the one if I were to recommend, this is the one I would suggest you get. It has the automatic, it has the manual. The only thing is, on the automatic, it can be very dull. It can be very dull with the 307 with the automatic transmission. With this engine, it can be dull. The manual is quicker. The manual consumes less fuel, but the automatic consumes a little bit more. Not that much, but consumes a little bit more. And if you want to push it so that it can move like manual, if it's automatic, you want to push it to move like manual, then the consumption will shoot up. Like I said, it's much. In fact, if you really want automatic, this one will serve you better in terms of acceleration and the rest. So it will serve you better. However, this one consumes less, but you have to be patient. Don't push it too hard. You push it, it's not going to break, but the consumption will shoot up because the engine doesn't have much power, and so automatic will drag some power, suck some power from it. So the one that will get to the wheel will not be that much. So that's the point. So this engine, I prefer it in manual. The manual is very sweet. The consumption is fantastic, So, but if you want the automatic, it will serve you, like I said. So, in terms of the body style, this is automatic. No, this is 307. This phase one, the station wagon. So, if they allow it for Uber, yeah, it can also be used. 307 AC is so good that no matter how huge the vehicle is or big it is, it will reach everywhere. So that's how good 307 is. You can see the rear, how 307 station wagon looks like. This is the rear view. This is another 307 station wagon. This is the hatchback 307. So this is one that I most find. I don't, like I said, find out if they allow station wagon. I don't know. So I think if you have to ask my opinion in terms of which one will serve you better, automatic or manual transmission on 307 for Uber, I prefer manual. This is my own personal opinion. From my own perspective, I prefer the manual. Now, the thing about the manual is to enjoy that manual, your clutch has to be soft. Those clutch keys, they do wear out eventually. So sometimes when they start wearing it, the clutch pedal will become very heavy to depress. That, in other words, becomes strong. So you have to apply a lot of pressure to depress it down, which most people mistakenly use to condemn manual transmission. Say, manual is too hard to drive. It means you have too much muscle. You'll be suffering yourself. No, it's because they are, I won't call them, I don't know how to put it, ignorance. People who are so ignorant that they'll be boasting or making some noise on that ignorance. That's what it is. Modern manual cars are very, very soft. As you even feel, in fact, if you are really into manual, you may even prefer the older vehicles than the newer ones. The newer ones are too soft sometimes, that it feels a little bit feminine to drive. The manual ones. However, there's the ones that are performance package. They do make it a little bit mechanical, so that you still feel you are driving manual. But other ones, they make them very soft to drive. As in, you won't even feel the clutch pedal as you are depressing it. The gear lever is also soft to shift in for out and back, up shift, down shift. So it's the idea of it's hard to you drive in traffic. I don't even get it. That's my point. It's only when those clutch, so maybe your clutch cable is weak, so it will make the gear changing a little bit hard to shift your gear levers. In that case, you start condemning the car. Instead of you to find out, fix the problem, and it becomes soft again. Or maybe you use the wrong manual gearbox oil, which will make it very hard to shift. The recommended oil for manual gearboxes in Peugeot 307 will make it softer to shift. Likewise, the clutch, if your clutch is weak, what usually make this weak most times is if you are the type that every time you are washing your engine, pouring water inside to your bell house and entering inside your clutch pressure plate, release bearing, it will kill them over time. So what will now happen is after a while they will now become very strong to press. So in that case, you will start feeling uncomfortable driving the car in traffic, or even not in less busy roads. You still feel uncomfortable, and you now assume that that's how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's because people don't even know the difference between a faulty clutch system and a good one. So if you can't do that, use even if the one you buy a vehicle, you notice it's hard, you can change it, it becomes soft, then you use the car well so that it doesn't fail. Avoid things that make it hard to fail. But like I say, if you know maintaining manual will be difficult for you, then automatic will serve you much better. In the sense that all you need is you shift it to drive, and it takes the entire thing for you. It does all the work for you. But the manual, you have to do the work. Except that they do it in such a way that as you are doing the work, you are also having fun, enjoying it in the process. While the automatic will take the whole work from you. And you may not have that experience or interesting experience that the manual person is having while driving. The automatic in that for 307 has the manual mode. People call it it also has a manual option. No, it's a manual mode. In other words, you can also shift it, select manually the gear you want the car to do, but it won't really compare with the manual, So it has that manual option where you can shift. The gear is four speed, so maximum you can upshift is 4. You can also downshift. It's on the gear lever, so it has that option. It has the sport mode. If you want to have some fun, you press the sport mode, you shoot out. So like I said, the manual one, irrespective of the engine, they consume less than the automatic as far as Peugeot 307 is concerned. I'm not saying the other all automatic vehicles consume more fuel than their manual counterparts of the same model. No. For Peugeot 307, the manual one consume less. But it's not that much. The margin is not much. So don't need to freak out. It's not much. So I mean, for the 207, like I said, you can do almost 200 kilometers with about 10 liters or less. That's how good Peugeot 307, especially with this engine, this particular engine on the screen, that's how good it is in terms of fuel economy. And with manual, I've never done that kind of test with the automatic to know, but the manual one can, as in the consumption is fantastic. So if you're getting the automatic, it's likely going to be getting similar fuel consumption with the manual, as long as you don't push it hard. That's what I'm saying. Don't go and start doing just bounce. When you get every traffic light, you push your throttle down, hold it there so you to move very quick, so you overtake every car there. Fine, it will give you that experience, but then you burn off fuel. So, but the manual, you don't need to push it out, just small touch on the leg, it zooms out. So that's the difference. So 307 will serve very well for anybody that wants to do, but the maintenance cost is very, very low. It's a very good car. So that's the thing. If you're talking about maintenance cost of these engines, like this one and this one, they are basically the same. The 2.0 liter, that's EW10J4 and TU5JP4. They are basically the same in terms of maintenance cost. Not see much difference. So I've talked about some of their issues and advantages in many videos, so you can go and watch those ones. I think I'll end this video here because it's beginning to take too long. So I believe I've answered all your questions and many more. I know the video is already long, but at least after watching this, you will be well informed on what you really want. However, if you want more, you can ask, and I will also explain in details. You can see you have so many questions here. That's why it's this long. Next time, maybe if you can ask just one specific, so I'll be able to. It won't be that long. And but whichever one, see, it's up to you. All you need is just spend a little small money on airtime or data, internet data, and you gain this information, this knowledge, to prevent you from buying a wrong car and regret it, while using the vehicle. Remember, it's going to cost you a lot of money to make that purchase. So it will look like you lose the entire hundreds of thousands or millions of naira. So it's not too much to spend 30 minutes or even 1 hour to get that knowledge to prevent those experiences, negative experiences. So people who always complain that my videos are long, you are doing yourself, not me. Because anybody that will listen and watch this video will see that, see, there are so many secrets I put out here, so many things I said here. You probably will never get in within 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes video. I'm breaking it down in ABC. If I'm talking to a technical person, a minute may be enough to say all those things because the person already understands what I'm saying. But when you're talking to somebody who is not that technical, I had to break it down. So you can always so any other person who is interested in a video like this or video response, for me to respond something, all you need to do is you contact. I'll put my contact details on this video description and also on the comment section. You prepare your messages, send it, and then I'll send you my account detail. You pay either 1,500 naira for now, or you pay 30,000 naira. The 1,500 naira is just a response for one video, right? To respond to your question with a video. It's not like tomorrow you come back or to another one on that same payment. No. If you want constantly to now have to be asking all the time, even personal, contact me privately without even doing a video, then you pay 30,000 naira. It means you are no more going to be paying a dime to be getting all this kind of information privately anytime you want, you need them, and also it's full consultation. So, and other conditions apply. So I believe this video served the purpose this person requested for or paid for. Okay, that's all for now.